The time is upon us, and oh boy am I excited, as you guys may know. I hope that you guys have been saving for it. For me, I've been saving so much, probably like the longest I've saved, which is only like around like what, 3 months, something like somewhere around there. But there was a character who was always in my favorite in that anime. It is Erza, so let's talk about her first. She's a physical DPS who is part of the Glory Princess Time faction that can only be infantry class. Her talent increases her attack, her mobility increases for each enemy more than the ally alive, and can act again with the remaining mobility. At the start, she has a revive that can be obtained by killing up to 2 stacks. So 5 stars is highly recommended, right? And I want to say another thing, that multi-revive may be concerning because of a certain bald man, but hear me out, right? Erza is different, okay? Erza playstyle is all about being offensive, who is truly only better by being basically on the losing end of things. And what you're gonna see soon is some crazy stuff. But I'm telling you guys that Erza is really different from that guy. So she has a transformation skill that will let her act again, has Train Master, and before dealing damage, she gets a stack of magic sword. When attacking and killing the enemy in battle, she kills 1 soldier to all enemies within 2 blocks for each stack of it. If she ends her turn or initiates an attack in the danger zone, then she also gets magic sword that stacks 5 times for 3 turns. When losing the form, those effects will disappear. So if you guys know, like from the anime, when she transforms, it is that armor. And man, do I wish that she had that on like all the time because I really like the design. But yeah, so in totality, you're getting like rid of like half of the soldier counts. I'm pretty sure there's always 10 soldiers, which is honestly a bit of a weird thing because you would expect something like fixed damage, right? Her 2C just does that. It's a single target that lowers attack and int for 2 turns and will deal fixed damage that scales depending on her magic sword stacks. Moving on to her 3C, the passive lets her dispel 2 debuffs and fully refresh the skill when an ally dies. She will lose the armor whenever she does the transformation skill to obtain a new one for 2 turns. It's a single target skill that dispels 3 buffs. If there are more enemies than allies, then it disables revive. What the form does is that it reduces her defense by 30% but lets her attack first, ignore defense, heal 30% HP before battle, and dispel a buff, which all of these will be boosted for each enemy greater than allies up to 3 times. So they can scale up to 90%, which is unbelievable, right? It also will change her 2C skill to a different one that restores 30% HP as damage dealt and reduce all her skill cooldown by 1. So like with this 3C, right? Has the best damage scaling in the game. Luckily for a short time though, so yeah. And the thing about her multiple revive is a bit worrisome, but it's like I said, it's really something that shouldn't be too concerning because even though she is one of the most heavily offensive characters that is going to be released, the way how she's designed is that like she's kind of like on this leash, right? In other words, she's held back from her potential a lot of the times because she wants to be like this character to make a comeback, just like how Tabra's game plan is. So in short, yes, she does have the highest damage scaling right now, but the way how she works is that she is ultimately held back from her true potential, like I would like to say like half of the time. So yeah, Erza in PvP can be tough to use but performs incredible at the right moment. Erza in PvE is her best field, but I would say like, you know, half the time she is going to be ultimately held back on her potential. Still great nonetheless. The next fairy tale character is Lucy. Believe it or not, she is a bit better than Erza for PvP at least. The only bad part is that just looking at Lucy's entire kit can be a bit overwhelming, especially with her summoning part. She's a magic DPS who is part of the protagonist, princess, and time faction that can only be a mage class. Her talent booster ends when Lucy or her spirit uses an AoE. It can be selected on any tile within the skill range. When dealing damage with it, the enemies are applied with star. but in battle, they will gain Moon. When they have both effect, engaging with Lucy or the Spirit has their stats be boosted. What Star does is that from the target, her and the Spirit skill range increases by 6, and ranged soldiers can attack with it. With Moon, Lucy and the Spirit deals fixed damage after battle within 1 ring. I want to immediately jump to the 1C because her talent plays a huge part into it to amplify her gameplay. Bear with me as I do my best to break it down. Using the skill allows you to select one of 3 different spirits. Aquarius is the only exception to this, but after using the skill, it changes to another one depending on which option that you chose. With Aquarius, it transforms her, which will increase Lucy and the Spirit crit chance by 100% and deals more damage to enemies in water. When moving through water-related terrains, she gets 1 mobility mitigation and will act again with 2 more mobility. Afterwards, it changes to an AoE that teleports enemies to the center of the target range while putting them in water for 2 turns. When you summon the Lion Spirit, it transforms Lucy and the Spirit. When fighting enemies with Moon, deals more damage and attacks first. Afterwards can act again, then it changes to a single target skill that dispels 3 buffs and attacks directly to the hero if they have Moon. When summoning the Aries spirits, it transforms Lucy and a spirit that allows them to apply a debuff when dealing damage that cannot be removed or dispelled. She can act again and is replaced with an AoE that inflicts Wool Bomb that does fixed damage even to nearby allies and also inflicts silence to melee enemies for 1 turn. This last bit says that you cannot have multiple forms, and after using the skill, it will be changed back to the, transformation one. But you can have 2 different spirits at the same time. And remember, these spirits applies both Moon and Star, but obviously these spirits specializes in a certain attack, and it allows Lucy to be a mixed attacker, so that way she fully utilizes her talents. So Aquarius form doesn't summon anything, but if a summon already exists, then Lucy and that spirit are able to deal some crit damage and slow enemies down. So that's how you would use Aquarius, just to pour more damage, right? Lion is single target focus, so you'll be applying Moon for fixed damage. Then Aries is AoE focus, so you'll be applying Star for the extended range. And the thing about these summon is that you are able to pull off some combo attacks. That's pretty much what you want to be doing. So let's say you have the spirit use an AoE skill, then Lucy, when she carries her unique 2C skill, this skill surprisingly can ignore guard, which sounds really crazy, right? And if that target has Star, then all enemies around it gains Moon. Combine that if the enemy already has Moon, then this deals damage directly to the hero, so that just greatly improves her odds of killing. Crazy skill. These combo attacks are going to be very important for Lucy. The 3C passive, when fighting enemies with Star and Moon, they deal more damage, which is doubled if they have both. It's an AoE skill that applies Moon, and Lucy will lose her spirit skill. But after that, the cooldown of the skill and the cooldown of the spirit is reduced by 3. So just to clear things up, Lucy just loses the skill after when she summons her spirits. So basically when she uses the 3C, the 1C returns to let you summon something again. So yeah, characters with long walls, I get it. It makes me not want to read too. I know I was like that when Emir first showed up, but because I make content for you guys, I put myself in a ringer and read them for you guys. So to sum it all up, Lucy is all about being a mixed attacker, and she really wants to work alongside with her summons so that she pulls off these combo attacks. And I do want you guys to be aware that these summons are slow. Anyways though, it is very important that you know how to combo with each other. That's how you make the most out of Lucy's potential. So for example, let's say that you have a summon, you pull out the Aries summon, right? That summon is AoE focus. And what does attacking with an AoE skill do for you? It applies Star, right? And what does Star do? It increases her range, both Lucy and the summon. And if Lucy is carrying her unique 2C skill to ignore guard, then she is able to pull off a sneaky kill. Some good stuff, right? Or if it's like PvE, then you would go full send on single target. And what does single target do? It applies Moon for fixed damage. Or if you just really like blowing stuff up, then just go full send on AoE attacks. That is also very good, because with Lucy's 3C, she does fixed damage with even like a good kill confirm or something like that. Just that you gotta know what you're doing to make the most out of them, to apply whatever like talent debuff you deem is necessary for the right situation, and perform the right combination of attacks. And if you're still confused on that, then I would recommend just practicing with her, or if you want to, maybe even wait for my showcase on her, which may take some time because they aren't easy to make. The last character to go over is Natsu, who is free to get by farming the event, and you are able to get into 5 stars right off the gate. You know, as long as you farm it all the way through. Anyways though, he's a physical DPS who's part of the protagonist, healers, and strategy faction that can only be a dragon class. His talent increases attack and defense that's doubled on dragons. After battle or when an ally is attacked and fights in battle, he gets a stack of flame that increases his damage that lasts in stacks 6 times. With 3 stacks, he heals 30% HP as damage. The 1C is a single target that reduces its cooldown by 1 if it kills. And with 3 stacks of flame, the enemy cannot counterattack. The 2C is the big one here. By using it, he immediately gets 3 stacks of flame and transforms into end mode that boosts his damage and turns him into a demon unit. When attacking and killing an enemy, if he has 5 stacks of flame, he can act again. In end mode, an enemy killed by him or if an ally dies, the duration is increased. Whatever turn duration is left, he dispels buffs up to 3 before battle. And when it disappears, he gets dragon exhaustion that lowers his mobility for 1 turn. Also, he can act again after using the skill. So yeah, luckily you are able to get some stacks of flame because getting them can be a bit something, maybe a bit tedious. The only complaint that I have about this is that Natsu has to kill things to extend the duration of it. And the only other way to help with that is to have an ally die. And that's something that you don't even want to happen. So it really sucks. 6 turn cooldown by the way. Then his 3C. The passive lowers the damage he takes and increases the skill range when on his fire terrain. It's a single target. If he has 4 stacks of flame, then he attacks first. In end mode, he'll put up what is called Fire Dragon King special terrain within 2 blocks for 2 turns. What this terrain does is that the enemy takes fixed damage and they receive more damage from Natsu that stacks twice for 2 turns. So yeah, I would say that he is a pretty solid character if you're looking for a DPS. Getting those flame stacks is not as bad as you may think, not too terrible, but it does make it so that Natsu really only performs the best in a more drawn out kind of fight in order to maintain it, because that at the end is really useful, plus a few other things as well, even with them lasting a very long time as well. The 2 things that really sucks about using Natsu has to be part of his like whole end mode thing, his transformation. Like it really sucks that only Natsu has to kill things, right? Like it really sucks that allies can't help him do that as well. And his 3C being the only thing that applies those like fire terrains for the extra range. Those 2 I would say is my only real big issue about him. The new SB soldiers include sorcerers. So now their attack and magic defense scales depending on how many HP they have left, which is way better than their original form, needing to be at 100 HP in order to deal even more damage, right? But honestly, if I were you guys, I would really just stick with the poison bat mage. Magic soldiers like them because like their damage will never fall off. Plus the debuff that the bat mage does is really significant. Second is royal protectors. So now they have a general 50% attack boost that is doubled when attacked. They can counterattack and take less magic damage. So what this buff is doing is just that the 15% attack increase is just active all the time without having the need to be attacked, and being able to counterattack at any range. Honestly, not the craziest thing in the world, to be honest. I guess the counterattack can be dependent on some characters, like I would say Christian. The last soldiers is Zealot. Instead of being above 80% HP, for each buff, its attack and defense, magic defense is greatly boosted and heals 20% HP, which is doubled if there is a debuff and will be removed. It is a crazy buff indeed. They have always been like one of the strongest holy soldiers, like melee holy soldiers. And so with this insane upgrade that they will have, there are definitely going to be people running them. The exclusive in this update is a helmet for Eshean. The range of her talent is increased and is upgraded to remove a debuff whenever she heals, add silence immunity when buffing, and add increased damage when using the act again. I would say I highly recommend the pickup. The added effects are like a nice thing to have, just that the extra range is what's really making this a huge pickup. For the casting skills, first up is Lugner. At the end of action, he doubles the stun of a random enemy. So his stun is more very likely now, as well as just like more debuff, I suppose. Second is for Nemia. When under special terrain, it's considered to be on water and does more damage. Yeah, she's usually on her terrain like no matter whatever she's doing, so yeah, a little more damage is useful. I'm like still very confused about like the whole water thing that's going on right here. I don't get it. Unless I'm like right to say that like that it also does like a thing that affects the enemies to make it harder for them to move onto it. So that since it's like being treated as water. Because when I was looking at this, I had to reread Nemia's entire kit, and like literally her unique skills are like the only thing that gets really effective from her own tile. Like nothing really water related, you know? That may be what I would assume, but definitely you guys know more than me, so feel free to let me know down in the comments. The band of interest that we could hopefully expect, a raid up with Isolde for a mythical team and a really good DPS. She has an exclusive coming out that is going to be insanely good on her. A raid up that has Eshean and Taranto, Eshean being a mix of a support and DPS who can heal, buff, and act again. Then you have Taranto, who is a strong tank, but just be warned that he does not faction buff. A Destiny banner with Xeon for just your protagonist team, Nornan, who's a really good DPS, then Nemia, who is one of the best archers in the game. As for the content that we can expect, the Collab Farmville event where we get Natsu to 5 stars, new territory mode, Angelica's Forge. I think in a previous video I accidentally called this the workshop, you know, the one with like the enchant and free equipment. I totally got them mixed up. So what this one does is that we can exchange like, let's say, a couple of those Anarchy materials to get the better version of it. So this even includes turning SR scrolls into SSR ones, get the better casting materials. You'll also get burgers and SSR universal shards. However, the exchange does have a limit for each one though. Something called Peak Arena or Faction Arena. I'm not sure what they're going to call it for global, because I am making this video before the announcement. I could not find anything on it like videos, so I'm gonna do my best to read it on this website and try to grasp the whole thing. So the way how this works is that it's divided between ban phase and battle phase, right? When banning, you can choose and the 5 heroes with the highest vote will be banned. And your team formation, there's a main and secondary one. Heroes incorporated into them must be in the same comp, and the faction that the current formation belongs to will be the main formation. In this event, a special super effect is added to each faction, and you can adjust them to your liking alongside with some more as well. Be careful as these special effects only works with certain factions. From what I'm looking at, these are just like faction buffs that already exist in the game. I believe some to be like upgraded version ones, and there are some new ones. I'm sorry to say like once more that I haven't seen first look into what it actually looks like, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But what I would assume is just gonna be like Apex Arena but on roids. Then you have the 2 Angelica Roulette events, the Anarchy Exchange for Rewards that even has the soldier skin in this update, a 14-day login event, and the 7th anniversary teaser event. With the new skins arriving, an Echo Light for Lucy and Erza. I honestly like it, but as you guys may know, that Erza is my favorite character in Fairy Tail. And the thing about me is that like I like seeing cool stuff. Like I like seeing like just anything that's cool. So it makes me really upset that she doesn't have like the armor thing as an Echo Light instead. But I think we all know why the Echo Light is a swimsuit. We all know right? In this version, we're supposed to get the Serena's, whatever how you say her name, I'm never gonna get that right. But we're supposed to get her wedding skin in this update, but appear like way earlier. because you know, Global doing their thing. So yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't really got a clue. It is gonna be like the end of October as I'm making this video, and there was an Elvis Halloween skin that Eshean is expected to get. So maybe we'll end up getting that as well. The last bit here are gonna be some soldier skins, the giant zombie one from the collab, the Exorcist snowman skin from the NAK exchange, from Angelica's Roulette. It includes new skins for the Jungle Dancer, Fang Subjugator, Netherworld Soldier, and Demi-Human. Alright, so that was about everything, if not most of everything that Global should be getting in this Fairy Tail update. As always, expect some few changes here and there since Global does like to switch things up from here and there. But who else is ready for Fairy Tail? Cause I sure am. And guess what? I am planning on streaming my pools. And this is gonna be a special occasion because this is not gonna be a normal summon session, right? It's gonna be a crazy one. So what I have planned is to try to get a 6-star Erza by the end of it all. So yeah, it is indeed gonna be a crazy stream. As for streaming time, I've been thinking about it for a while, but what I'm ultimately gonna decide on is maybe at the usual time on the weekends. So it'll be 9 AM PST. So I really do hope to see you guys there. Anyways though, my voice is dying, as I don't know if you guys are able to tell, it's kind of like raspy right now. So I'm gonna get this outro out of the way. If you guys did enjoy the video and you want to see more, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as it helps the channel a lot. Feel free to let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about the Fairy Tail collab, because I'm sure that you guys know how I feel. I want to know how you guys feel. Or maybe you guys are just skipping for them and just waiting for something else. Be warned that Fairy Tail won't ever come back, so there is that FOMO factor. With all that said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and take care. And I do hope to see you guys all there when that stream happens. So yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.